What is the single most ridiculous conspiracy theory you've ever heard? That Satan buried dinosaur bones to deceive humanity into believing the earth is vastly older than a couple thousand years. I have encountered people who wholeheartedly believe that. No mention of dinosaurs in the Bible. Therefore they must be lies. Newsflash. America isn't mentioned in the Bible either. The one where JFK Jr. will rise from the dead in Dallas just to reinstate Donald Trump as the president. Actually, these QAnon people believe that he never died in the plane crash and just lived in hiding for 22 years for unknown reasons. My GF's mum believes JFK himself is still alive and will be Donald's VP. The vaccine makes you magnetic. I thought this was stupid. But on my way home from getting dose 3 I got pinned to an old shipping container and I've been stuck for 3 days now. Please send help. I feel like the conspiracy theories have been getting crazier and crazier over like the last decade or so. Flat Earth, magnetic vaccines, 5G, secret space program. People believe that a Nazi group split off from the Third Reich and discovered super advanced technology in Antarctica. They then moved to Mars and have been fighting reptilian and insectoid aliens using time travel and genetic super soldiers. Most of the members believe that they are part of this super soldier group and have been alive for hundreds of years. It's absolutely bonkers. Reminds me of Iron Sky. Flat Earth. All day. Well yeah, if the earth is round then why are the bottoms of your shoes flat? Checkmate. Windmills cause cancer. Don Quixote was onto something. Astronomer here. Flat Earth is pretty well known. But the one that really got to me is I legit met someone once who insisted to me that planets don't exist like Venus, Jupiter, etc. This confused me greatly because you can see planets with your own eyes. And in hindsight maybe I was a bit rude saying that just because she doesn't know stars well enough to spot the ones that move doesn't mean we all are. But whatever. I'm still confused about that one. I later learned from others that this is actually a more popular conspiracy theory than you'd think in some churches in the southern USA. I still don't get why though. When I first heard of the flat earth whackers I was fascinated. I eventually found myself on one of the message boards. One thread was about airplanes and how the pilots were in on it. At some point a believer who was also a pilot was trying to fit the theory in with his own experience. One thing he couldn't figure out was a flight to Japan he made twice a week. His plane would have to go supersonic for much of the journey for the flight time to match up with their world map. This is when I found out about the fake Japan that the Freemasons made. You see what happens is, there's a fake Japan much closer to wherever this guy was flying from. Only the airport was a real building. Most of the passengers were actors. The sign language interpreters at press conferences are actually brainwashing us. Left facing fist, backhand index finger pointing up, hand making pinching gesture with index and thumb, hands raised in celebration, call me hand gesture, left facing fist, palms facing up together. Humpty Dumpty didn't fall, he was pushed. By Woody. Cheese producers are in league with the plastic companies. I'm not talking about the Kraft slices or 1/3 plastic stuff, either. Ever notice that most products are wrapped in an almost untearable plastic? Packing can stand up to anything but a direct flame, right? So, how come blocks of cheese are wrapped in plastic that always tears, exposing and drying out your cheese? Big Cheese pays the plastic companies to make shoddy plastic packing for cheese to increase cheese consumption. A million-man UN army was hiding in the mountains along the Idaho-Montana border getting ready to take over America. Saddam Hussein had a Stargate. Not even so much that he had one. But if the most powerful military in the world is invading, wouldn't that be the time to use it? Hell, he even had a second chance to fire it up. This has some recency bias, but the girl who thinks the Roman Empire is a big made-up historical conspiracy has to be up there. Oh yeah, like the ones who think all the Roman emperors were black. The satanic panic stuff from back in the 80s. It's crazy to me that there was a rampant belief back in the 80s that there was a coven of Satanists on every street corner sacrificing babies by the hundreds of thousands in every town and city in the country. It's even crazier to me that most of the evidence of this came from alleged ex-Satanists who claimed to be serial murderers and rapists during their tenure as Satanists, but were never arrested or investigated by law enforcement for their alleged rampant crimes which they claimed were still ongoing by covens. It still cracks me up that D&D was seen as a tool of Satan. When you look back, the general rule seemed to be, do young people enjoy this thing I don't like? Yes. then that thing is the devil. The vaccine has microchips and changes your DNA. Really, any conspiracy theory about the COVID vaccines? It implies that there are. I had someone at my school that had to take a robot baby home for a few days for a health class. He had a massive tantrum about it being spyware from the government. The dude was 18. I pointed out that he had a phone which was more likely to be a government spy device. He screams at me that I'm wrong and have fallen into the government. He then accuses me of working for the government to spy on him and steal his privacy. He actually said that. I don't know if he was joking or not, but I tend to hear ridiculous things during study hall. TLDR. A guy in my study hall claimed that a robot baby and I were spying on him for the government despite the fact he has a phone. Schizophrenia usually has its onset around ages 16-25. Celebrities dying, disappearing mysteriously and being replaced by lookalikes. Paul McCartney, Eminem and Avril Lavigne have apparently all been replaced. Also, Katy Perry is allegedly JonBenet Ramsey and Taylor Swift is an Illuminati clone of some satanic high priestess from the 70s. Gotta love the manosphere. That COVID is transmitted via 5-gram cell towers. Honestly, any 5G conspiracy theory, which is especially annoying because there are legitimate issues with 5G. QAnon. QAnon is handy because it basically encompasses all conspiracy theories by now. Whenever a new thing comes up, it just gets caught in the same spider web. That a girl in high school legitimately believed the shots all the girls had to get are the cause of why women's bodies typically can't have children after a certain age, and that it is the government trying to fight overpopulation. She believed that if you didn't get a shot you could easily live and have a baby healthfully at age 60 or more. That rich people, every famous person drinks blood from 3-month-old children to stay young. I'll have you know adrenochrome is a delicacy. Breatharianism. People who believe in it believe that humans needing food is a lie, and we can survive by meditating only. I know someone who believes in it and who claims we can absorb energy from sunlight, or from food by meditating with your hands above it. Have you asked them why they eat food then? COVID vaccinations actually implant you with a microchip so the government knows where you are. For your information, for the vast majority of people, the government doesn't give two shoots where you are. The same people that say this all carry a personal GPS, phone, and thanks to Snowden we know we are being tracked and monitored already. They don't need help tracking us from a vaccine. That the Twin Towers were hit by guided missiles disguised as planes using holographic images. Trump is fighting the Illuminati pedophiles. I mean he is. Flat Earth and moon landing hoaxes. I mean, the sheer number of people who would have to be in on these conspiracies is mind-boggling. And none of them ever blow the whistle. I have genuinely said this to moon landing hoaxers. Of course we didn't go to the moon. The moon isn't real, they don't know how to react. There was once a rumor going around at my old school that I was actually a boy ridiculous, but also freaking hilarious tbh. QAnon. It's trailer park Scientology. Lizard people are controlling my brain with fluoride. Or the earth is flat. Both are equally ridiculous. Antifa actually dressed up like Q people and invaded the Capitol. This was backed up by images of the crazy animal hat guy showing up in certain places. It was bought hook, line and sinker by the cognitively dissonant sheep at the time, proving there is no possible obstacle to cult rationalization. Birds aren't real. I really. Flat Earth theory. I still don't understand why some people believe Earth is flat. That the swabs for COVID tests are pre-coated with the virus. So anytime you're testing positive, it's the swab that's causing it. There are people who believe this. For real. Mind you, police somewhere in Europe thought, based on DNA evidence from a wide number of crime scenes, that a specific woman was involved in all those crimes. Let's just say I'm banned from the Flat Earth community Facebook for convincing members that the earth is round with 8 grade physics skills. A guy I dated explained to me that if you ask anyone to prove that they're conscious beings, there's no way they could prove it, so therefore there is no way to prove that anyone around you is a conscious being. Their own life and thoughts. So basically you're the only conscious being on Earth. It went deeper than that and had a name but I can't remember it. Solipsism. That's the name. That mountain formations are ancient massive trees that were chopped down by giants. IDK if most ridiculous, but definitely favorite that I try to spread. The CIA invented dinosaurs to discourage people from trying to develop time travel. Here's one. that powerful people are working for the good of mankind. That fluoride is in the water because it not only binds to teeth, but also is visible from space. So satellites are able to see the fluoride and then match it to your dental records to track you. Sex trafficking of all places, happening on Wayfair. That the US knew about the 9/11 attacks and not only allowed them to happen, but assisted in the destruction of the WTC and Pentagon, in order to justify occupying the Middle East, in an effort to take control of big oil and also make billions off weapons and weapon system distribution sold to our military from private companies that politicians hold stock in. Wait, this is true. NVM. It would probably have to be sky demons. There are nutters out there that don't think airplanes are real, but actually flying demons. I heard a dad tell his kids if Obama was president in the 19th century, industrial revolution would never have happened. In fact, we never would invented fire. Oddly progressive, a black man could be president. It was followed up by how complex and smart machines were back in the day, and everything is now junk and stupid and computers can't be trusted. Just like Obama. Then the kicker. It is why you can't go to school. Computers and technology. I looked for their horse and buggy. Luddites they were not. They each had cell phones. Needless to say, I wish I could shadow them for a week. Till fire was invented, not merely discovered. In the 19th century, half of the ruling class is going to save us from the other half and institute justice for the rest of us within anybody's lifetime. It ain't the same as flat earth, e.g., but the number of people who believe it is wild.